Alright, so I looked under my car yesterday and I noticed that there's some gas coming from the tank here. If you look under the car, you can see some shiny areas there. That's apparently where the gas is coming from. I'm assuming there's a hole in the gas tank. And so what I'm going to do in this video here is to just do some inspection and then go ahead and provide a patch. Alright, so right now I'm under the car and I swear I cannot tell where the gas is coming from. And I'll say I was trying to keep the tank as low on gas as possible so I could do the patch. But it looks like I'm gonna have to put at least a little bit more gas in so I can see where the drip is coming from, because right now I can tell that there's evidence of there being liquid here at some point, but I cannot tell where the gas is actually leaking from. I don't see any actual visible holes. I've been under here for a little bit before I turned the camera on, poking at some areas, and I don't see anything. The only thing I can think of is this area right here. If I look at the wet spot here or the markings around here, it looks like this might be the area where the tank has been compromised, but I am not 100% sure, honestly. So what I'm going to do is go to the gas station. I'm going to not fill it totally up, but definitely put a few more dollars of gas in there. Alright, so after a few days of actually working on or looking for this leak, I think I may have found it, and I think I know what the problem is. So I think there's a hairline fracture in this area over here. As you can see, it's leaking there. I think there's a hairline fracture, and what I did notice when I was under here earlier is that the color of the tank in this area, it seems like whatever coating or whatever was on the outside has been worn away. So I'm thinking that's the deal. It's a hairline thin fracture that I just can't see with the naked eye. So I'm gonna apply the compound that I bought in this area here. All right. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so what we're going to do now is going to do a physical demonstration of what's going on with the gas cap, or the gas tank, pardon me, when there's a little hole in it. So what I have here is my project container to hold any water if any of it drips out, or I should say when any of it drips out. I have a bottle to simulate, and this is a bottle here to simulate my gas tank. And this bottle is filled with water, you can see there at the top, okay, to simulate gas being in the gas tank. The cap that's at the top, and I'll twist this just a wee bit to the side, the cap that's at the top is equivalent to the cap that's on in, that keeps any gas fumes from coming out. So you know where you put the gas cap on. This cap here simulates, in this scenario, that cap to keep any gas fumes from coming out. Now I put a tack into the bottle here to simulate something piercing the gas tank, and you'll notice that when I pull the tack out of there, alright, you'll notice that no water is dripping out of the gas, or in this case the bottle. Now this is similar again to what I was seeing under the car when the bottle was not pressurized, okay? When the bottle is not pressurized, you won't see any water, or very little if any, coming out of the tank. However though, when I pressurized the tank, or when the tank in my car became pressurized, which would be equivalent of me squeezing on the bottle, you'll notice that there's a stream of water coming out of the bottom. And again, this is similar to what would happen when my car is under, or the gas tank is under pressure. Okay, once we stop, you'll notice that air bubbles flow in there when the gas tank is no longer under pressure. All right, and you'll notice that again there's no water flowing out of the bottle. Put the bottle under pressure again, similar to my gas tank being under pressure, and you'll notice that there's a stream of water just flowing out the bottom of the bottle. Again, when the pressure releases, some water goes, or pardon me, some air goes in and fills up the tank. And again, once that happens and the air gets in to fill up that space that has been created, go back and there's again no water dripping from the tank. So this is why I wasn't seeing any water or any gas dripping from the tank at certain periods of time, because the pressure had not built up inside of the gas tank. And so because there wasn't any pressure built up, the pressure that was inside, or the pressure that is inside of the tank, or was inside the tank, and the pressure that's outside, what happens is the pressure outside happens to be more than the pressure inside, or equal. And so therefore you didn't have any transfer in any of the water coming out of the tank. All right, so this is a simulation as to that demonstrates why exactly we didn't see, or I didn't see any water coming out of the tank, or air or gas I should say coming out of the tank. All right, so here's a question. I didn't think about putting this in the earlier part of the video, but what would happen if you were to open up the gas cap and open up a direct path, if you will, for air to actually get in to the gas tank? Well, if you were to do that, again, this is my bottle here, okay? It still has the hole in it, all right? If we were to remove the cap from on the top, and remember, no leak, right? If we were to remove the gas cap from the top here, or the cap on this bottle, you'll notice again, the water starts to pour right out of there. I hope you guys can see this. And that's without me squeezing the bottle. And the reason that is, and you'll notice that when I put the cap back on, the water slows down to a drip there. Oh, cap isn't on properly. All right, there we go. The water slows through a drip, and then eventually it's going to stop. All right. So what happens here is this: when we open up the gas cap, and then we make a direct path into the gas tank, air will flow into the gas tank, which will add additional air pressure onto the top of the gas, and it will cause the gas to come out the hole from the side of the tank. Okay, so if the reason again I wasn't seeing the gas coming from the gas tank is, one, the pressure within the tank was not high, it wasn't pressurized, that's layman's terms I guess, and then also the gas cap wasn't off and there wasn't a direct path into the gas tank. And so because of that, no water flowed through the bottle or through the tank, even though there was still gas in there. And same thing, no water flowed through the gas tank, came out of the gas tank because there was no direct path for the air to get in, and the gas tank wasn't under pressure.
Okay, so what I've done here is I've put a mirror here so I can actually see under the car. It'll make it a little bit easier to at least mark the spot since the car is not jacked up at this point. Alright, so the area wasn't as dirty as I thought. I already wiped the area with vinegar, and as you can see, the Sponge is still relatively clean here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some baking soda and water, and what that's going to do is neutralize the vinegar, because the vinegar has acid in it. You don't want to keep that on your gas tank, because of course that's going to make things worse in the future. Alright, so here's the compound mix. As you can see, you can still see at the bottom here is just a little bit of baking soda that I added in there to the water.
Alright, so I'm about to knead this Permatex ethanol resistant fuel tank repair. I bought this at a local auto store. We'll see if this works. Now it says that we should use gloves, so I have gloves on both hands, and since I'm not quite sure where the leak is because it's so ridiculously small, I'm just going to apply the entire stick evenly over an area here. But first it says I have to knead it in my hand for a few minutes, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove it and knead it, and I'll show you at least me doing some of that kneading. It says that the color should be uniform across, and it looks like it's brown, so I'm guessing it's going to be brown when I'm applying it. So I'll go ahead and do that, and like I said, I'm going to show you the end process of me kneading it. Alright, so when it's evenly mixed, it kind of looks like a silverish color. And so as you can see, mine is pretty evenly mixed, so I'm going to go ahead and apply it. Since I have to do this and spend a little time and I don't have two hands to show you what I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and just apply it and then show you what it looks like after I've applied it. Alright, so not gonna lie to you guys, that stuff got hard pretty fast. You can see it there in the mirror on the tank. Kind of outlined the tank with some green chalk in the area where I want to apply it. And like I said, it got hard pretty fast. So what I would suggest that you do is kind of shape it before you actually put it into the spot, and then apply it, and then kind of press it down with your fingers at the tips or the ends and so forth, so that it sticks. I'll give it a couple of days and we'll see how this all works out. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's been 2 weeks since I've added on that putty. And as you can see, there are no spots under the car, so it looks like this stuff works. Just to check to see if this is really true, we'll check to see if the gas tank actually has any sort of pressure in it. So let me go ahead and open the car, or actually open the gas tank area here. Alright, so when I open the tank here, what we should hear is the pressure being released. And as you can hear, the pressure is released. So that means even though now the tank is under pressure, it's actually maintaining. So it looks like that putty worked.